Alright, hi guys, this is Knife Easy, and this will be my bike review for the WR155, and this is my personal bike which I had converted from the off-road wheels to the supermoto style wheels. So the first thing I did was I bought these rims from Indonesia. They are the Sprint XD 17 inch by 3.5 width, and the front will be 17 inch by 3.0. So the tires that I have on here are Pirelli Angel CT, 140 by 70 for the rear, 17 inch, and 110 by 70 for the front, 17 inch as well. And for the sprocket, I had it changed as well. The sprocket has been dropped by one teeth. Uh, Originally it was 51, now it's 50. And let's have a look at the front. Right, Sprint XD rims as well, 3.0. Pirelli Angel CT as well, 110 by 70, 17 inch. So, before we go for a ride on this bike, I'll show you the exhaust note. So, just a quick startup. Finish. So, so that was the exhaust note. And before we go for a ride on this bike, I just want to say that um, it's a pretty good bike. It's a decent bike. It has all the low end, low down torque. Very torquey bike for getting off in gear 1 and in lower gears. But on the highway, it's not exactly very um, conducive. Conducive? No, I wouldn't say conducive. It's not very. Doesn't feel very stable on the highway. No, it is stable, but at higher speeds above 100 kilometers per hour, it's not as great. So let's end this portion here and let's go for a ride. Woo! Okay. Okay, we are good to go. Alright, now we're on the road. On my WR155, I ignore my dash here. That's for my audio recording. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you how it feels like riding this bike on the daily. I've owned this bike for around 6 months or so. I got it in June, way before the COE hike for up to 7,000. At the time it was still around 4,000, just before the hike, the 1 week before exactly. Okay, so for the first thing I did when getting this bike was change the rims, change the tires, and did a lot of things that would help it get closer to what I want it to feel like. So the 17 inch wheels for the front and rear were pretty much a given for any supermoto build. So that was the first thing I had done. But to give you just a quick shout out on how it feels like when riding the original wheel setup with 19, or was it 21, 21? No, I think it was 19. With the original setup, it felt like you were riding a mountain bike with an engine. I mean, not to say that it wasn't rideable, but it was it felt very weird to ride on the streets, especially when you're taking the corners and in car parks where you have to go up those very weird spiral ramps. It doesn't feel nice. Okay, so when riding with the original setup, it felt like you're riding a mountain bike with a motorized. It's a motorized mountain bike basically, and it doesn't feel nice when you're taking corners or doing leaning on the streets, because it's not meant to do that. It's meant to go over rough terrain, and with the very high wheelbase, it's meant to go over obstacles and stuff. So that was the first of all, it felt quite uncomfortable riding lah. It's like riding those adventure bikes when you're on the streets. I mean, it's usable, but it's not what I want to feel like when I'm riding on the streets out here in Singapore. And our roads are pretty flat. It doesn't really, you don't really need that off-road setup. So after changing the wheels to the supermoto style, it felt more like a street bike. It felt like your everyday naked bike. Yeah, the thing is, I'm more confident with the cornering. You can lean a bit more here and there, especially with these tires, the Pirelli Angel CT. It does very well like a everyday bike, as an everyday bike. That's why I don't have any complaints using this. What is this doing? I don't have complaints using this as an everyday bike when after switching it to the supermoto setup. Alright, let's talk about the ergonomics for this bike, because you have a very upright sitting position for this bike. It's meant for you to be very commanding. You can take control over the bike. You can stand on it to get over obstacles and all this. So by default, you have a very commanding sitting position, very commanding ergonomics package. Your pegs are directly under you. You're not hunched forward or anything. So you have a very upright sitting position, and it's very comfortable. So you can use it as like a very everyday ride, no issues if you have anything like back problems or anything. But the only issue with this bike is for short people with shorter legs or short inseam. It can be a little tall, even after downsizing the wheels to 17-inch. I still have troubles getting on and off the bike, but that is mitigated with some tricks that I use here and there to get on and off. Okay, let's get up on the highway and we shall continue with the next one. Alright, we're now up on the highway and we'll talk a bit about the performance and handling for this bike. The performance, being a 155cc, you shouldn't expect much from a class 2B bike. The top speed I can get out of this, I tried roughly around 110, but mainly because I'm also a more heavy weighted rider and that's the most I can push out of it on a flat road. Downhill obviously you can do more, uphill not so much. So most of the 2B bikes they perform around this range, so you don't really have to think too much about the top speed. Yeah, another thing about the performance is that because this is a bike that is tuned to be very torquey, more power on the low end so that you can get out of obstacles using the lower range of gears. So thanks to the 50 teeth sprocket, you can't really get much out of the top end speed. However, you can just brab your way out of the stoplights and clear yourself off from any vehicles that will be beside you or behind you, I guess. So, how does it perform on the highway? Let's get On the highway, you have only one thing to worry about, which is the wind blast with the lag of a windscreen. But if you're riding a naked bike, that shouldn't be new to you. And especially in Singapore, our top speed is, not top speed, our speed limit is 90 kilometers per hour. And within 90 kilometers per hour, the wind blast isn't that bad. I mean, most people are used to it by now. You don't really see people being bothered by it that much. Normally people will just wear a jacket over, or just, you know, wear a t-shirt. I mean, locally in Singapore, you don't, no one cares about wind blast at all, because you will never ever be going that fast to be bothered by it. And that pretty much concludes what I have to say about this bike. Oh, there's a DRZ over there. So that's pretty much concludes what I want to say about this bike. If you're planning on getting a WR155, do find a solution for a replacement for the rims and wheels as soon as possible if you want that supermoto feel. If not, you have to live with the default setup, which is meant for off-road. But even then, I will still recommend changing the tires at least to a bit more less stubby tires that is not from stock. If not, you'll have this very whining noise that is caused by the tires because of wind. So to end it off, have a good day everyone, ride safe, and that is Knife Easy signing off.